Hi guys, in the previous video I just unboxed this Zhiyun Weber S2 gimbal. Now in this video we'll be unboxing this Amazon Black universal travel accessory pouch, which has actually been given to me by my older sibling, and I thought it'd be interesting for you to unbox, as most of you guys would probably consider this. Now this little accessory is not expensive at all. It probably costs about 10 USD. Now what's inside? Even I do not know. Let's unbox this and be able to see what we get inside. But for comparisons, I'll be using this little other travel pouch which I already did a review on. And we're going to take out the things that are inside here and be able to put it after we have unboxed this. So let's go. Now let's move this aside. Okay, inside the box there isn't nothing much but just this keep fresh sticker over here. And let's open the pouch up. So as simple as it is, it just looks something like this at the back, at the front, and you have this little hand strap over here. Let's open it up. Now inside you have all these little small pockets where you can put all the other accessories. Now I really like that parts of it are really in Velcro, and it gives you a variety of ways to be able to put in, not just slide it in, but you have zippers for smaller items such as your SD cards. And you have this nice fit little Velcro over here. It's really good to prevent all the other items from falling out. And I think after using a few other travel pouches, it really matters to have all these little small touches to it to be able to help you keep your things in. Now let's bring the things out from this little pouch and be able to see if you can squeeze it all in. Alright, so what's in our original pouch? Let's have a look first. First we have my batteries. The MP50 batteries for my A6400 and A7 II. Then here we have my aperture light, a little clip-on mic for my vlogging, Insta360 Go, the necklace accessory, a quick charger for my RX100 camera which I'm shooting the top down, two of its batteries, and a little portable charger over here. Okay, let's remove some of it and be able to transfer it and see how well this thing contains some of the items. Okay, this little menu over here, it looks quite big and really quite annoying. I'm going to cut it out. So let's transfer. First of all, let's put in this huge pouch over here. So all in all, I'm able to squeeze everything in while removing some other pouches and containers. But I guess it still really works. So let's close it. So once you put them both side by side, you can see that this one is a lot smaller and it has a hard casing comparing with this one over here. Now this kind of pouches has its advantage as it's an open concept, but things will fall out very easily. So there's nothing to be able to hold all this in, comparing with the pouch that I have over here. It's less likely that things will fall out and things are definitely more organized and looks less messy. So I hope you guys like this quick unboxing and try out of this little universal travel case for electronics that's black. I think there are other colors out there, so do keep a lookout. Oh no, my wire has dropped. Now if you guys are curious, the wire is actually used to be able to charge my RX100 camera that's up there, taking up the top-down shots. So that concludes our little unboxing and little try of this little travel pouch. Let's read some nice comments which you guys have left me. There has been a huge encouragement for my YouTube journey. Let's read the first comment, which is on my A6400 versus A7 II video. Zen Diego says, great video, which is better for low light photography and video. Now low light photography and video are slightly two different areas. Now for video, I'll recommend the A6400. It's the one that has been shooting for my YouTube channel all the while, and it has really good focus. Comparing to the A7 II, it definitely blows it out of the water in terms of being moving subjects or stationary subjects. Now for low light photography, I'll say the A7 II is much better. If you guys have seen my previous video which I did for the printing out, you can see there's a huge difference between even a point and shoot mobile phone, and definitely there's a difference between the A6400 and the A7 II. So by far, definitely the A7 II for low light photography. Now the next comment comes from Trinity Link Q on my A7 II versus A6400. So basically, if I take a step back, I did get same field of view as the A7 II with no crop factor. Crop factor matters in two main aspects in my opinion, which are definitely visible. One is the focal range, the second one is the image size. So doesn't mean you take a step back that your image size and the quality you get of it will be a lot more different from just the initial step which you have. I would say a full frame camera is definitely better in capturing a lot of details regardless of the range or the different distance between you and your subjects. Now the next comment comes from Kevin Oliveira concerning the A6400 crop factor. It's funny how his videos answer all of my questions. Yes, actually I did not know that, and as you guys know from my channel, from the beginning first few videos, I've been shooting in 30 FPS and realized that there's this very unnatural crop. Now shooting my A6400 on the 24 FPS, already have a slight crop from the footage itself, so that really restricted me in my early days. Really appreciate this comment, and this is probably one of the reasons why I do all these videos, to be able to not just educate other people, but be able to really genuinely help me discover more things about my camera. So our last comment comes from Tommy Quino regarding my A6400 versus the A7 II video again. Now, very well explained bro, thinking of selling my A6400 and wanting to buy a A7 II, but I might keep my A6400 for vlogging and get the A7 II for photography instead. Now that's definitely a very wise choice. The A6400 definitely is very good for video, especially now with the flip screen, but I'll definitely still recommend, yes, you keep it, the A6400 for vlogging and the A7 II for photography. That's actually how I roll with my both cameras. Unless if I really need very wide real estate videos, I use my A7 II along with my 16 to 35mm lens, which I just did a video over here, to be able to show a wider field of view. Because as you guys know, if I'm using my A6400 or my crop sensor camera, it's limited in the field of view, whereas if my full frame I'm using a 16mm, it's really a 16mm. So having a full frame camera really has its benefits, and I'm definitely not selling it anytime soon, and probably will be upgrading it and getting an A7 III in the future or A7C to be able to help me to get different angles as well. But all in all, I'm still very glad of my setups that are over here, and I'm sure it can last me for at least a few years. So that concludes my comments reading. I'm really grateful for all those who have left all these positive comments, which really keeps me going for the long run. There are haters and negative comments out there, but I'm trying to phase it all out and be able to focus on all the good stuff. All these comments are the reasons why I continue to do YouTube and be able to do all these video reviews for you guys, to be able to give value to you. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. So by liking and subscribing, it gives me information to be able to continue to go further, to be able to produce more quality content for this channel. If not, I'll see you guys in the next video.